Hey everybody, I'm Dan. My wife Mary's behind the camera. Let's get right to it. In this video, we're going to provide at least 10 things that you can do to prepare for this super Florida extreme cold snap that's going to be coming in about 9 hours. We live in Southwest Florida. Our temps are going to be about 38 degrees with a wind chill down much lower than that. If you're up in Arcadia, Lakeland, east of Tampa, it's going to be a lot colder up there. So we wanted to talk about a few things that can really help you. Now, we're here in the kitchen. One of the biggest things you may have to do is if you think you're going to have a freezing problem with your water, you can just run a small trickle, a short trickle of water on your faucet. And if you have to, and this would be done normally, I'm going to shut that off because that's a little noisy. This would normally be done in the farthest room in your house. If you have a bathroom that's way out the back, or say if your kitchen is on an exterior wall, unlike ours, which is in the middle, you may want to have that water running, and don't just run the cold water. You can want to run the hot water, and you'll see why a little further on in this video. The other thing you can do is open your cabinets. That'll provide some airflow into your water spaces where the water lines are, into your cabinet spaces, and that'll just further assist against any possible freezing. The other thing you need to think about in a cold snap like this is the usual prep stuff. Do you have enough ice? Do you have enough food? Do you have enough water for your family? You've got time to get some things, so you want to prepare that sort of thing now. The freeze is the biggest thing, but if water lines break, water systems go down, or power goes out, you've got to think of all the different things you want to do for you and your family if this sort of thing happens. So we're going to move down into the hallway now, and we'll show you what we are doing with our portable power supplies. These are our portable power stations. We've got two Jackeries here and a little 100-watt Jackery in the closet. We've got them all charged up and ready to go, and we'd just like to keep ready. So if you have any portable power supplies, it's an awesome idea just to go ahead and make sure they're charged, because you just don't know if you might need them. Mary's going to come on over to the air conditioning closet. This is our air handler here. We have central air. And the important thing to think about here is just to make sure that your filter, all these air handlers have a filter, make sure your filter is clean, because if you're running on heat like we are right now in Southwest Florida, you're not going to be able to extract a lot of heat from your AC unit outside unless that filter is clean. You need that balance of air to be as good as it can be. We're going to pause the video and we're going to go into the bathroom and talk about a couple tips there. Hey everybody, we're back. This is our guest bathroom, the subject of many hurricane prep videos, as many of you may know. Bathtub holds 50 gallons of water. Ours holds water just fine. Does yours? You need to make sure that your bathtub can hold water. If you have to duct tape the drain, if you have to pop the removable plug out and put a rubber plug in, if you've got to stuff a washcloth in it, do whatever you need to do. If you feel you need to store water, do it now before the freeze comes and before the possibility of power goes out and that sort of thing. Toilet, if you've got 50 gallons of water here in your bathtub, you can always take a 2.5, 3-quart pitcher. You can flush the toilet by putting water in with a pitcher or a bucket. You can do it that way. Finally, if you're in the bathroom, if you've got a faucet up against an outside wall, you can open the cabinet doors. And again, you can just go ahead and crack the water a little bit, both hot and cold, just to get a little bit of flow going, so that you can prevent your water from freezing in your pipes on the other side of the house. Mary's going to pause the video and we're going to go out to the garage and we'll talk about a few more things for you. Hey everybody, we're back in the garage. This is our generator here. If you have a generator, is it full of fuel? Do you have oil? Do you actually know how to use it? Have you run it in a while so you know it's going to work? Do you have all your power cords? Do you have your main power cord if you hook it into the house? This is a little late to be talking about it because this cold snap's coming real soon. But these are some things we wanted to bring to mind. If you notice in our garage, we've got a Rinnai tankless water heater. This thing is awesome. We plumbed in a nice recirculating system, but here's the thing. A lot of people have these things actually mounted on the outside of their house. They're not in the garage like ours is. So any of these pipes could freeze in really cold weather. So that's why we advocate, like I mentioned earlier in the video, run a little hot water, because that'll cause this thing to run. It'll cause the natural gas or propane, whatever you have, to run the machine and heat your water so that it doesn't go down. Crack the water so you can keep this going. You're going to waste money, you're going to waste fuel, and you're going to waste water. But it's a lot cheaper to do that for a couple days than to spend $3,500 to replace one of these things in the related plumbing. Mary's going to pan the camera over and show you one of our attic doors. Close your door to keep drafts from coming from the attic down. Normally in the summers, especially here in Florida, the heat rises. So we like to keep our doors cracked, at least in our garage, and it moves air through the garage. But in a cold spell like this, keeping the door closed keeps the cold air from the attic from spilling down into the garage. Up here you see a blue sheet that's covering 6 milk crates. In those milk crates we have a bunch of half-gallon jugs. They're plastic jugs. We don't use glass jugs because they're high. If we drop them, we'll smash them on the garage floor. So what we do is we take these down. We don't fill them and put the water up there. We take these empty jugs down, and you might want to do this now. If you think you're going to have problem with power and water, take your jugs, fill your jugs, put them in your house, and have water. Finally, here in the garage, you'll notice that our garage door is closed. This is a hurricane rated door, good for 160 miles an hour. It's got these nice braces, but more importantly, it's got insulation on it. So that's really going to help us when the cold snap hits us down here about 10 o'clock tonight. Keeping the garage door closed is going to make this an insulated space that won't get hit by the frigid temperatures outside this door, and that'll therefore keep any rooms that are adjacent to our garage walls from getting colder. Mary's going to pause the video. We're going to go outside and we'll talk about a few more things. All right, we're outside our house now. Hopefully the wind is starting to pick up. Hopefully the noise isn't too bad for the microphone. We've got our generator box. We're all set and ready to hook up if we need to. We've got our water lines out here. We don't have to because our temperature is not going to get down as far. If you've got water lines and you're going to be in a real cold place, get some pool noodles, get some pipe insulation, get whatever you need. If you have external lines like Mary is showing here in the camera, you may want to cover those. You can take a big cardboard box and duct tape it to the side of your house. Anything you can do to protect those lines. And in fact, for any exterior pipe on your house, whether it be water lines, whether it be irrigation that's above the ground, or whether it be pool lines, you'll want to protect those. You can even put a moving blanket out here. It's whatever it takes to take care of your house. Now we're going to show you what you can do with hurricane protection as Mary spins around. Here we've got one of our windows. We have roll down shutters that we use to protect our house in a hurricane. And you can actually deploy your shutter that provides a little insulating area between the wind, the building, the shutter, and your window. Whether you have insulated or non-insulated glass, it's just another insulating layer that you can use to help keep your house warm. Now when we come up a little further, this is our doorway here. It's a little hard to see from the angle. We have a storm screen, and we can deploy this later tonight, and that'll keep this block of air as an insulation layer, and that'll keep the air from getting colder and contacting the door of our house. So if you have that sort of thing, you can do that too. So while that goes up, we're going to go to the next setup. Okay, it's going to be a little loud out here because our neighbor's air conditioning is running, putting heat into their house. This is our air conditioner here. If you have an air conditioner, you want to make sure that it's clear of obstacles so it can run properly. It's okay if you've got some plants around it to shield it and keep it happy, but if you have too much growth around it, it could actually hinder its operation both when generating heat and when generating cooling for air conditioning. But you want to make sure this is going to work well because it works hand in hand with your air handler inside. Mary's going to move to the other side to get away from the noise, and we'll talk about a little bit more here. Okay, right here on the side wall, we've got an exposed irrigation line. Again, we're not concerned because our water is not going to get that cold. We actually can take irrigation, which is reclaimed water, irrigation water, and water our plants with that instead of using potable water. It comes off of our irrigation system. If we were in a cold area, we would want to also cover this up, put foam on it, put a box, blanket, whatever it takes to insulate it. You might have an irrigation system where it's going to be colder than us. You may talk to your landscape contractor or irrigation contractor about draining your irrigation system. Our irrigation systems in Florida are only maybe a foot, 15 inches below the ground. We don't think we're going to have any issues with the zones we have in the ground, but with something like this This may allow you to put some compressed air in the system and blow it out. So there are different things you can do. It's a little too late to talk about that since the weather's coming, but hopefully some of you have been able to make plans to protect your system. Finally, as Mary moves over this way, we have a lanai. And on our lanai, we have hurricane protection both here on the main screen and on the side screen. We're going to deploy that this evening, and that'll help keep an insulating layer in the lanai. So this is a fabric screen that we have, and a word of caution to any of you that have these kinds of fabric screens. It's about 58 degrees out right now, and the screen is operating just fine. But as it gets colder, these screens contract, and many of you may already know that they will bind up in the tracks, and it'll take a couple people to actually get them down to the ground. We're going to deploy this earlier so we have enough warm temperature to get this thing down, and we'll put it up after the sun hits it tomorrow. So that's it. We pray for you guys. We hope you do well during this crazy Florida weather that we have coming up. Feel free to drop a comment. We'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. And we're going to be going live tomorrow morning from 6 to 7 a.m. If anybody has any questions then, I'd be happy to talk with you. We wish you the best. We'll see you on the next video, and please take care of you and your family.